Creed 2 is the sequel to Creed, which was a very soft reboot and kind of continuation of the whole Rocky story, except moving on to the next generation. And, the first movie was absolutely amazing. And it was even more amazing because no one really had any expectations for it. And for this one, there were expectations. And I think for the most part, it does meet them.
Victor Drago, son of Ivan Drago, who infamously killed Apollo Creed, appeared today to issue a challenge to Adonis Creed.
Don't do this.
I ain't got a choice.
That's the same thing your father said, and he died right here in my hands.
So this movie is this time directed by Stephen Cable Jr., and it's also starring again Michael B. Jordan, Sylvester Stallone, and Tessa Thompson. And, it is a complete continuation of the last movie. Like, since the end of that one, where he lost to the champion, but in a really close fight, that no one thought he had a chance. He's had a couple fights, and now at the beginning of the movie, he's fighting for the light heavyweight belt. And then after that, you have now this new challenger that this person's trying to set up. It's Ivan Drago's son. And so now you have a whole big kerfuffle coming up with that. So now, people don't want him to fight. Rocky doesn't want him to fight, but he wants to fight to revenge his dad and all of this sort of stuff. And it really works. Like, I really liked it. But I will say that the first movie was so good that this had a lot to live up to. And I think that this one felt more like a Rocky film. And what I mean by that, it still had a lot of great drama and character growth and interactions and everything. But the boxing was not as technical, and it wasn't filmed as well. But saying that is like, the first Creed had some of the best boxing ever put on film. Like, especially the one take, or it might have been stitched together, but mostly one take shot of a whole fight. And, I mean, I don't know how you could really match that. And they didn't try to match it. But I think they did more closer to what the Rocky boxing was. And that means a lot of haymakers, a lot of getting punched, and not as much, of the sport. I mean, they do a bit of it, but it's definitely, especially because they never really address this. They always say, oh, the Drago, he's so much bigger than you. They never really address the fact that they shouldn't be in the same weight class. Like, in the beginning of this, they show him, like, fighting for light heavyweight, and they say that he's, like, 206 pounds or something like that. But in the last movie, he was fighting at, like, 175, I think. Well, the first fight he fought at 175. I'm pretty sure, because I remember there's a interaction with the one guy. He's like, so, what are you weighing right now? Like, I don't know, 180? Hey, get down to 175 and we'll put a fight together. So, I mean, it doesn't look like he put on 25 pounds of muscle, but I don't know. And the Drago, he looks like he's 20 to 50 pounds heavier than Michael B. Jordan. So, I think it'd be fine if they were setting up like a super fight or something, but they're setting up for the belt, like the light heavyweight belt, and I don't know if that would actually work. But that's really just nitpicking. None of it really that matters for the story, and the story is really good. Like, I mean, it hits all the notes you expect. Like, and some of the twists it takes, like, I kind of knew, okay, I bet they're going to do something like that. Like, oh, okay, yeah, they did. And I kind of saw everything coming, but it was done well. It was filmed well. There was, it had a lot of montages, not quite as much as Rocky IV, which Drago was from, but it's definitely more inspired by that. Like, it definitely feels like a Rocky film, and it feels like, that's what you want from a Rocky film. And I know some people may have been expected a little bit more, because, it's like a Creed film, but, I mean, it is what it is, and it's a great Rocky film. It's a great boxing sport film, and I really enjoyed it. Like, it didn't transcend the genre, or do anything that original with it, but it is everything I wanted in a movie like this. one thing I didn't quite expect is that they went a little bit more into the Dragos. Like, of course, yeah, some of it's still kind of generic, but I mean, they gave them more character than maybe you expected instead of just, the villain. And I enjoyed the movie a lot. I give it like an 8.25, maybe even 8.5 out of 10. I really liked it. It's a good movie. But thanks for watching. You can check out the other playlists on my head, or subscribe to me on that Z over there. Thanks.